'Cause every time I'm with you, there's this feeling like I'm better off alone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the AAA podcast. I'm here with Alex and Adam, and Hayden Feldscher, our first guest ever on this podcast.
What it do, baby?
Good.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Of course. It's a pleasure to have you on as our first guest. We kind of thought there would be no one else that we'd rather have on as our
Aaron.
first guest than Hayden.
Just a way to start it off.
Stop it, guys.
So, yeah, if you don't know Hayden, which some of you will probably know Hayden, he's a musician. He's a friend of all of ours.
Just graduated.
And he is an ultimate frisbee player.
Especially.
Very important.
Yeah.
And he's a professional smiler. I wanted to throw that in there because whenever I see him, he's always smiling.
Aw, that's so heartfelt.
And he's got the best smile. So
definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been told I smile way too much by way too many people.
I don't think it's possible to smile way too much.
Oh, that's
Just
a good
a happy
point.
guy.
Yeah. My cheeks start to get sore, though, around 3 p.m. every day.
Start doing exercises.
It's taxing.
So Hayden released a song on July 27th of 2019
Look at
called
you.
3 Weeks.
Oh,
And it
fangirling
kind of took the Northampton community by like a shock. Like everybody was like, "Wow, that's really good," and people are still listening to it, right?
To this
I
day.
think
No,
so.
yeah.
I listen to it
Yeah.
every night before I go to bed.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
same.
No. It's
Yeah,
very, it's a very good
It's my
song.
theme
though.
track, and we wanted to talk about that, talk about some other stuff on the show. So I said we get right into it. So
Yeah.
you want to tell us a little about the song? Like it was your capstone project for senior year. Right?
Yeah. So, actually, my capstone initially was going to be to make like an EP, like 3 or 4 songs. I was going to release them all as single. I guess not. I shouldn't say EP, but make like 3 or 4 singles and release them over the course of the year. And then I procrastinated a lot, and time caught up to me, and I only ended up finishing one, which I didn't even release until July 27th, like a month after I graduated. But it was like time consuming enough that I would still call it a full capstone. I was working on it pretty much all of second semester.
I mean, I went to your presentation, and when you were doing that, you were like saying how you wanted it to sound like a professional recorded and produced song, and
Yeah.
I would say you accomplished that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
it really, I think if you had spent the same time doing a full EP, it would have sounded great. But with the like just doubling down on one song, it sounded like
It sounded
Thank you.
you
good.
put
Yeah.
a lot of work into it.
Yeah,
So-
that was like my idea, my goal behind the capstone was like I didn't want to make a song that was distinguishable as like a teenager made it. I wanted it to
Yeah.
sound like someone would hear it and be like, oh yeah, that's a professional band. So it was worth it to me to put way more time into that one song than
Definitely.
just record like 3 or 4
And
songs.
did you start writing some other songs too?
Yeah, no, I mean, all through high school, I've been writing kind of consistently. 3 Weeks is just the only one I've recorded to fruition so far, but I plan on recording all the other songs I've written, hopefully soon.
And do you think
Hopefully.
you'll probably release them together?
I kind of like the idea of releasing them as singles. You know,
Uh-huh.
I think people give a little more attention to each one if you release them as singles.
Yeah.
Whereas like EPs or albums, someone will like pick their favorite song and just listen to that one, and then the
Yeah.
rest of the ones might get swept
And
under the
who's
rug.
like that? Russ does that.
Russ?
He's
Russ.
always releasing singles, and like he'll have like an album like once a year or every couple
Yeah.
of years, but like he has so many more singles, and a lot of times his singles aren't even on his albums. Like he has so many just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
probably because you get more attention on each
Yeah,
song.
I think it's cool just to do.
It's
like,
definitely
one
really
by one.
cool. Definitely
Yeah.
cool. And so you did that. How many months did the song take you?
It's hard to kind of like pinpoint it into an exact frame of time because I think I started writing that song like mid junior year and kind of set it aside and wrote some other stuff, came back to it a few times, and then really like doubled down on working on it second semester or like first and second semester senior year. So from when the concept of the song was first created, I guess like a year and a half, but I wouldn't say I spent a year and a half on
Yeah.
the song, you know.
And it was all you. Which is,
Yeah.
that's that's
Yeah,
like super
that's super
impressive that you
impressive.
did
Thanks.
everything, writing, recording,
Yeah.
in your home studio.
In my guest room, yes.
Guest bedroom.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Adam, do you have any questions from like a fellow musician or comments on the song?
Well, first of all, I did really enjoy the song.
Thank you.
It's super awesome. I guess like from like a producer standpoint, like, or just like a recording nerd standpoint, more like, what did you use for like recording like the instruments and stuff?
I used a mix of DI and straight out of the amp. I put an SM57 on the amp, and for all the vocals, I used a Rode NT1A.
Mm-hmm.
And same for the
That's a microphone, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And
speaking a whole nother language.
Yeah.
I just don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then like for the guitar and the shakers and pretty much everything else, I use the NT1A. That's like my only condenser mic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like my basic mic I use for most stuff, unless it's an amp, in which case I use a 57.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah,
Dope.
pretty basic tool set, I
Mhm.
would say.
Yeah.
And then you used Logic to mix it all.
Yeah.
It was so cool going to the capstone presentation and you had it up on the screen and you're like fiddling with it and like showing us different parts of the song. And then when it finally came out, I was like, oh, I remember he talked about that. Like he chose to do this instead of like that. And like it was really cool to see that.
That's pretty sick.
You never get to see that part of the music.
Yeah, that's like what I think is really cool from a producer standpoint is, I mean, before I got into production, I didn't realize a quarter of the stuff that went into producing songs.
Yeah.
Like,
Same.
I thought it was more you kind of just recorded it, maybe mix it a little bit, and then release it. But it's like so much more than that.
Mhm.
And that's what I really like about producing is like you can record a sound and change it beyond recognition and just create like a whole different space with the music. And there's like so many different options of what you can do with recording and so many manipulations, which is really cool. So I learned a lot about that while making that song.
I think
That's
we
awesome.
feel like we've talked about this a little bit, but like learning from your experiences and stuff, like you can learn so much in like a textbook or from courses or just from that kind of thing. But you really, like you said, you barely knew anything until you actually did it. And now you know so much more than you could have learned from just reading about it and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
and that stuff, like that was probably one of your first experiences of doing that in a school environment, right?
Yeah, in a school, like doing it for a school project was
Yeah,
my first
yeah.
experience with doing that. Yeah, but I definitely think recording is like a total trial and error
Yeah.
learning curve.
I agree.
Like really the only way to figure out what you like and what you don't like is by doing it. It's like hearing it be like, that doesn't sound good, trying a different way, until you drive yourself crazy with all the different things you do, and then finally find a sound that you like.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know.
Exactly what you're talking about, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam's always saying like how he's like in here at like 3 a.m. like mixing songs, and he'll finally be like, I found it. And then he'll be
Oh my
so
God.
psyched.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, that's what I wrote my college essay on.
Really?
Was like mixing music and losing track of time. Like I would when I was recording and mixing Galen's album, which I
Okay.
did junior year, I would be mixing for like 3-4 hours on end and look at the clock and be like, oh shit, it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then like on a Tuesday, I'd be like, I better go to bed. But like that idea of like timelessness where you just get so in depth. It's almost like going down a rabbit hole with production where there's just so many different paths you can take and no boundary that you can get sucked in and totally
And
lose yourself.
there's no end to it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You can do that. There's so many things that you can go down like a rabbit hole. Like let's say social media. Like you're
Yeah.
always gonna like. It's kind of like different segues into another thing, and like I'll just find myself doing that sometimes. But like with production or any project that you're working on, there's always gonna be ways that you can improve it and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
that's why it's so amazing.
Yeah. That's actually what I struggled with most with producing
Is not
3 weeks. Yeah.
is not taking
or what were you going to say?
like not getting off your computer and not like perfecting every little thing and kind of being
Yeah.
satisfied with yourself.
Kind of that. Like, I mean, I'm a perfectionist,
Yeah.
especially with my own music. So it felt like even now, I'm not necessarily sure I would call it like done per se.
Really?
Or I kind of
Really?
feel like there is no finish line. There's a point where you're like, this sounds really good, and I'm going to stop here, and I think it's good enough to release. But like, there is, I mean, at least for me now, there's no clear finish line with any project or musical project where I'm like, now it's done. Because I feel like with music and production, you can always better it and always find a new way to do it. So you kind of have to draw that finish line yourself, which is why it took like 3 months after it was almost done. 3 weeks was almost done until I finally released it because I was just like tweaking it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like awful.
do you have like different versions that you've saved from the process, like a really rough version and then the final one and places in the middle?
Man, I should have saved some of like the in between versions.
Mhm.
I don't think I did. Maybe I could find them in my history or
yeah.
something. But I had a demo MP3 that I saved, which is what I showed in my capstone, and then the final. So yeah, I guess not really. But
And when you listen to those, like, how different is it to you?
To me, it's very
probably
different. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't think it's that different, because I didn't make any major changes.
Yeah.
It's like the little stuff. So yeah, they're not that different, but it's more of like a polishing. You know, like once you get the bulk of the demo done, or the bulk of the first part, then it sounds pretty much right, but there's so much that goes in after that to make it sound just the way you want it.
Do you like listening to your own music? Like, let's say you have like, this is actually a question that both of you guys can answer, because like, will you like just put your own music on sometimes to listen to it, or do you think that's weird and like you don't like doing that?
You wanna
Never by myself, because I don't know, that feels weird. Just like, oh, I want to listen to what I like. Maybe like after it's just come out and you're just like, oh, it's on here. I want to just listen to it just to make sure everything is like I released it. Or if I'm like showing it to people, obviously that's fine.
Yeah.
But like most of the time, I don't like listening to my own music unless like I'm showing someone and they're gonna like give me feedback. Otherwise, like, I drive myself nuts just being like, oh, I should have done this, or I should have done that.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Like, once when you're listening to your own music, especially when you finally drawn the line and like released it, it's like, oh, I could have made that better, could have done this. But I do listen to 3 Weeks on Spotify. I wouldn't say a fair amount, but like once every few days or a week, just because it's like a dream come true to me to have my like to be able to search my music. I mean, search my name on Spotify and something comes up, like
That's crazy.
that's mind blowing to me, because my whole life I was like, wow, if you're on Spotify, like that means like you're a real artist or something. I don't like it's really cool. So sometimes I'll literally
for
search
that
my name just for
feel.
the fun of it and like listen to it and be like, I'm listening to myself on a Spotify page right now. Yeah, it's a really cool feeling. But I won't listen to it to be like, man, this song rocks. Like,
I feel like if you hear it like enough times, you might get tired of it.
Oh,
and
totally.
Be like, you just be like, oh, like
so sick of it.
you just get sick of your own songs.
Yeah, but it doesn't lose. It's like, wow, I'm on Spotify.
Yeah.
That's definitely like surreal.
Do you think when you get to college, like, have you been in touch with people that are going to be freshmen there too?
Yeah, a few, just like over Snapchat. And
Has
stuff.
anybody found the song yet?
Yeah, my roommate found it. So my roommate, he, like, we're Snapchat friends, so he saw when I released it and he listened to it and he was like, wow, this is really good. And I was like, thanks, man. And I guess 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, 3 weeks till our move-in date, he snapped me and he was like, hey, just wanted to let you know it's 3 weeks till we move in, pun intended.
That's funny.
I was
Have
like,
you
yeah.
have you like FaceTimed him or like just got like a feel for him as a person, or
Pretty much
Snapchat
just
him?
Snapchat. He seems like a really cool guy so far.
How did you do
cool.
the like whole roommate process, like of finding someone?
So I actually missed the deadline for what I was trying to do. So like they had a deadline for when you can choose your roommate. And I was talking to a bunch of guys, and I'm really bad at making decisions. Like, I'm very indecisive. Same reason I'm a perfectionist is like, because I feel like there's always better options. Anyway, I was talking to like 10 guys, and a bunch of them were like, hey, do you want a room? And I was like, I'm not exactly sure yet, because I'm really bad at like picking the final option. I was just weighing my options for like a few weeks. And then I realized the deadline to pick my roommate had passed, and I was like, oh well. And then so it's random selection is how I found my.
Did you do like one of those survey things where it's like fill in when you go to sleep and when you
Yeah.
wake up and like
How smoke tolerant are you? Yeah.
what your blood type?
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I did, and that like a bunch of guys came up as like compatible, which it's funny because depending on like what time you go to bed has no impact on how you're gonna live with someone. Like, it's so ridiculous to me. It's like, are you social or not social? Like, you have to meet someone to realize. Not like, what do you sleep with background noise on? I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. So yeah, like those surveys would come up, and I'd be like, J underscored Mick Dard is it's like an 83% match. You just talked to him. So
they should have like Tinder for roommates.
It's basically what it is.
That guy, his beard's too long. It's probably not clean.
His beard has a stench I can't stand. Yeah, they should. That's a $1 million idea. You should do.
Maybe I'll do that.
That's your next business venture.
Who knows? Maybe I'll take it to Drexel.
Yeah. Ooh.
There you go.
Who knows?
Yeah. I would do that. Maybe I'll steal it.
do it.
Yeah.
Alex, was there anything that you wanted to ask Hayden on the show?
Oh yeah. I mean, you still work for Pizza Factory at the moment, right?
I don't actually.
No?
I wouldn't say I got fired, but I got let go. I'm
Like-
my employment there has ceased to exist because I basically worked there all summer, or I guess like June through July and early August, and then during August I had a bunch of like family vacations
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go on, and
It's too much time off, I guess.
yeah, they just said too much time off. And then by the time I got back from the family vacations, which was like 2 weeks ago, I would only have like 2 weeks left before I left for college. So I was like, if you wanted me to come in for those last 2 weeks, sure. But if you don't, like, I understand. They were like, yeah, no. So I'm not working with them anymore.
But
And-
did you like working for them?
Yeah, it was great, actually. I got free pizza. I got insane tips. Like, it's weird.
That seems dope because you get to drive around too.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun in the summer, just driving around, listening to music.
I remember when we ordered for them. Like, we normally don't order from Pizza Factory too. Like, when we normally get Domino's or
Yeah.
something like that. And then there was like a bunch of us, and we just wanted a party pizza.
So we
And
put our name
Antonio's had run out of crust or something like that.
down. Something stupid like that.
And so we were like, okay, we'll go to Pizza Factory.
Yeah. Oh
and it was like really cheap, like
yeah.
$25
Yeah.
for a party pizza.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, let's do it. And then you pulled up, and we were like, oh shit.
Wait, we put like a fake name down too.
Really?
Dude.
Sure, so we were like,
Yeah.
oh, I wonder who's a dude, and then we
Yeah.
open the door and it's
Yes,
fucking Hayden.
I
Dude.
remember that. That was so funny.
It's so cool.
fun. Oh yeah, I didn't realize
And then
that.
Before you worked at Pizza Factory, you worked at Cooper's for a little while. I remember that.
That I did.
Talk about that.
So Cooper's was a really great first job, and it was like, it's super chill. Still is, I imagine. Both the managers are really nice, and everyone there is like super friendly. And
Those are the pros.
yeah, the pros have been working there for like 8 years. But I always kind of felt like like a in between job for me. Like I was never like, oh, I'm gonna work for Cooper's for 10
Get
years.
equity in the company,
yeah.
you know?
The thing with Cooper's is you can't work there that long. That's
Yeah.
what everyone says.
Yeah, you get.
So
I
it's
mean, I almost I got overwhelmed by how underwhelming it was. If that makes any sense.
No.
Like after working there for, I guess, a year and a half, 2 years. It's just like the same routines every day, and there's a lot of downtime where you're just sitting there, not really doing
a
anything.
little mind numbing.
Yeah, and yeah, it was really mind numbing. So, like, I would be standing there, and my mind would just go blank. And I remember there was one day in particular that made me realize, like, I have to quit this job. I was standing there, and I swear to God, my vision started to go black and white.
Oh my god.
I'd never experienced anything like it. I was just sitting there like a drone for so long that everything was just a gray scale. I was like, oh God.
No, it's time to leave.
Yeah. So I quit a couple months after that. I stuck with it for a while for the free coffee. But yeah, I like, especially in the summer, I wanted to have a little more spice in my career.
A little
Yeah.
more freedom.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a really great job. Like, it was super chill. And a lot of people, all of my friends had bosses who were like really mean and made them work extra hours and weren't respectful. Cooper's is a great place.
Yeah.
I just, my time limit had come.
Yeah.
I'll say that. No shade on Cooper's.
Definitely
Rich
not.
Cooper, if you're watching this, I love you.
Great guy.
What about you, Adam? What did you want to ask Hayden?
I didn't have that many questions planned, if I'm completely honest. But
Top of the head? Anything? I'm an open book.
Yeah.
Now's your one chance in life.
Music, goals in
Anything.
life, anything.
What do you listen to in terms of music?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a good one.
That's a great question.
'Cause I haven't really asked you that for the amount of time that I've known who you are. I don't really know what kind of music you listen to.
I listen to I guess the genres I was into vary between like folk rock, folktronica, which I didn't realize was a genre.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, that's like
Never
Bon
heard of that
Iver,
before.
Okay. Yeah.
where
Yeah.
it's kind of like folk intentions almost,
Uh-huh.
but it's so heavily produced that it almost becomes
And
electronic.
that's actually, I'm so surprised that you listen to him because like he's pretty
Really?
successful and popular, but
Uh-huh.
almost everyone I ask is like doesn't even know who he is.
Really?
Like, I just have one friend who knows who
Oh
he
my
is.
god, he's like my favorite artist.
He's so cool.
I aspire.
Is that Sam?
to
Sam
sound
will-
like
yeah,
him.
Sam
listens
knows
to
him.
Yeah. Oh, I
No,
think
he
he's
just like
incredible.
works with tons of different people, like Kanye West. And
Yeah,
that's how
oh my
I
God.
got into him through Kanye West. Which
Oh,
is
really?
kinda cool,
Yeah,
so-
I know. I think he's a mastermind.
yeah, he's insane.
Yeah, but I guess the kind of music I listen to is more based on, to me at least, like the skill set of the production or the producers or the skill set of that particular artist rather than like the genre they're in. Like
Yeah,
I'm really
definitely.
attracted to artists who are also producers of their own music. Like, do you
Yeah.
guys know Jeremy Zucker?
No.
Don't think so.
No, he's like a pop artist, but he produces all his own stuff, and he's really good. Eden is
Yeah.
another. Yeah, I really like him. Who else? No one's coming to mind exactly, but John Bellion.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
Uh-huh.
produces his own stuff. Just because it's like, I like to listen to my role models almost,
Yeah.
like people who I could almost like aspire to be,
Mhm.
who are like brilliant songwriters and also really good producers.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's kind of my goal, is to like to write and produce all my own stuff and to have it sound really good.
Yeah.
Speaking of your goals, is that like, I think you mentioned to me you wanted to start a recording studio of some sort, right?
That'd be cool.
Or what is your plan as of now, in the future?
It's hard to say because I want a career that makes a lot of money, and also that I can incorporate music into,
Mhm.
hopefully. And right now the recording industry is kind of falling short, in like people making their own studios because more people are doing home recording, so it's
Mhm.
hard to keep a studio open because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
So maybe just having a home studio and producing my stuff there, or I mean, if I can make money with a recording studio, that'd be really cool. Yeah, but I could see myself doing that maybe somewhere down the line.
So you want to be on the music and production side? You don't really want to do work for other people, or?
I haven't decided that yet
Mhm.
because I think I want to produce some more of my own stuff to see how much I like it. Because as fun as producing your own music is, it's really frustrating
Yeah.
because it's like you can be so overcritical of yourself, where it's a lot less stressful to record other people's music and produce it.
Okay.
That's very true.
Yeah, because you can look at it from a more objective standpoint rather than like your own emotions going into it.
But also I feel like, well, you would probably know because you've produced for Galen, maybe
Uh-huh.
and Promise.
Young
Yeah.
fam, young fam.
Mhm.
Like for other people, I feel like they have an expectation of what they want too. So,
Uh-huh.
like if they're of that level, some people don't even know what they want, and so
Uh-huh.
if you make something that sounds good, they'll like it. But if someone at the level, like a really high level, would probably know what they want. So I feel like that would come with some packaging too, like
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think what's the only hard part for recording other people for me is like not having full creative control.
Mm.
Like it would be really nice to have an artist who knows like exactly what they want and from a production standpoint, so they can like almost guide you to the sound they're trying to achieve.
Definitely.
But for people who don't know that much about production, who you're recording, it's hard to, even with like me, like I still consider myself an amateur, obviously.
Mhm.
It's hard to like satisfy someone when they have a sound in mind, but they don't know how to get to it, and neither do you.
Yeah.
So it's
Mhm.
it's kind of a hard disconnect there. So yeah, like recording other people can be frustrating in that sense, where like you could be like, oh, I want it to sound like this, but they don't, and you have to make it sound like they want, not like you want.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of recording your own music is you can do whatever you want with it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, I haven't made that decision yet of which one I want to do.
I'm sure in the next couple of years in college, you'll definitely see what you like, see what you don't like.
Yeah, I hope. Probably.
Yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned that you in high school wanted to start a podcast, and you actually did for a little bit.
I did. I did.
Why don't you tell us about that?
So in high school, I think junior year was when I had the idea. It's actually
Sounds like us.
yeah. It's a funny story of how the idea came to me. it's like the way my mind works is thoughts will just pop into my head that'll get me really excited.
Same exact thing with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like especially with music and lyrics. Like sometimes, like I was in physics and I'll just like think of a whole song. I was like, oh god, I gotta write this down. Like, how can I get home right now?
Gravity, 9.8 meters per second.
Yeah. It's like no. 9 to these X's. No. Anyway, so the way the idea of the podcast popped in my head was I was at a family friend's house having dinner. Jason, Michael, if you're watching this, you know what's up. So I was there sitting with my family and our friends, and all of a sudden I had this. It's weird to call it an epiphany, but it felt like an epiphany where I was like, "This would be so sick to make a podcast." Because I'm an audiophile, so I really just like the way people's voices sound coming to mics, similar to this. But I was like, this would be so cool. But the idea I had for a podcast was a little bit different than most podcasts, where like I love podcasts, but I don't always have the attention span to listen to like for an hour.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm like driving, I'll listen to a podcast, but I don't usually like sit down and listen to a podcast the same way I would watch a YouTube video.
Agreed.
You know, so I was thinking like blend the two ideas where you sit down and have a conversation with someone, but you edit it down to just like the really entertaining parts, and then compile it into like a 5-minute video. So it's like a quick cut, like snippets of conversations, mixed with like a little bit of comedy or something. And I shot, I think the first episode with Gabe Nicotera, in my room, and I also wanted to like have it be like a really chill environment, as douchey as that sounds. And, like it was a really cool lighting, and I wanted to call it The Vibe. I realize now that's stupid.
Welcome back to The Vibe.
Yeah,
That sounds like a late night radio show. Like,
yeah.
hey guys,
Yeah, well,
welcome back to the vibe.
Some like soothing voices and music and something like that.
Exactly. So I want to have like lights and stuff. Anyway, like super visco girl aesthetic. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, we kind of want this. I mean, not like that, but we're definitely always looking for like the lighting and like just, like, the vibe of the room.
Exactly. I want it to be aesthetic. So I shot the first episode, and I edited it, and it took like a while to edit because I basically had an hour of footage and audio, and then I had to edit it down to like 5 minutes. And I realized it's a lot harder than I thought to piece snippets of conversation together so it makes sense. And you're not like jumping around.
Well, because there's a reason there's the boring stuff.
Yeah,
know, 'cause
exactly.
That's the transition.
Yeah, it's really hard to follow a conversation trail when you're cutting stuff out. So I kind of got discouraged with that. It didn't turn out as good as I thought it would, or as good as I hoped, really. But it was also like the first episode, and I never went further than that. So maybe I can make it better if I tried it again in the future.
You should try to do it in college. Like
Yeah.
if you find some guys in college or girls or transgender people or
Yeah.
whatever.
Find anyone who's interested in doing that and trying to do that.
Yeah, I'm testing you, Aaron, on your political correctness.
That was a little extra.
Did you say only guys or girls could be on my podcast?
Someone's
find
trolling in the
some-
comments right
Yeah.
now.
Any individual who could
Come
be on
at
my
me.
podcast.
Come at me. Come at me.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I think it's so interesting to hear how you thought of that, because to me, I find the like same ideas, and it's always when I'm in a car ride, like in a
Really?
long car ride, especially in Vermont.
Uh-huh.
Vermont's kind of like the hot spot.
It's just like Aaron's hotspot for thoughts.
I have an emotional connection to Vermont, and
Yeah.
so like I'll be in
Cheese.
Vermont, and I'll, dude, I have a Cabot lunchbox.
Unreal.
No, Cabot is like my favorite cheese.
That's so
That's
so funny.
No, but I'll be in like the car in Vermont. We'll go skiing or doing whatever, and I'll just have like
cheesing.
this idea pop into my head. I'm like, I need to do that, and then
Yeah.
like when I was little, or not little, but like a couple years ago, I wouldn't like write it down, but now I'll just take out my phone, like write it down, and like sometimes I'll just think back to those things, and I'm like, oh man, like I should do that because I thought it'd be so cool when I was in Vermont.
Yeah, dude, you need a Vermont idea journal. Actually,
Yeah.
you need a journal for every single state in the U.S.
It's my California journal.
Do you guys journal?
I don't personally.
I have something similar. I wouldn't call it a journal though.
Uh-huh.
What is
It's more just like I guess you can call it journal. Just like somewhere where I like take my thoughts and stuff like that. Kind of like a planner.
Yeah.
More so.
Yeah. I tried starting a diary at the beginning of high school, I think. And then I kind of didn't keep doing it because I didn't really think it always felt corny to me. I was never like, dear diary.
Yeah.
Today Tommy said he. No. But yeah, I don't keep that anymore. But it's hidden somewhere in my room.
I honestly love just writing down like stuff and like I just
Ideas.
kind of let it all out on the paper. Or
Yeah.
sometimes I won't be home, so I'll just like write it on my phone in my notes and like it's a great way to unfold your thoughts so that like what used to happen when I would have like ideas or whatever is it would
Forget about it.
once I got into like the hustle and bustle and whatever like kind of stuff I was doing, it would just like come out of my mind. And like by writing or even if it's like a long thing, like you could like try to make a voice memo or something like that.
Yeah.
Then
That's
you can keep it and like save it and,
kind of helps
then go back to it.
organize your thought process. Yeah, like kind of what you said. When I went to Italy, like the first day I got off my flight, I was like, I wrote about it. I was just like, I just got back in Italy, blah blah blah. And then like, for like a week, I was actually like going pretty strong. And then like one day I just like forgot and I was just too lazy. And I was like, I can't keep up with this, and it felt kind of corny. And I was just like,
Yeah, that'll happen.
It definitely
Fall
takes a lot to like keep it going.
Yeah,
and, like,
exactly.
You have to be really.
I mean, it's not really my thing.
You have to
so.
keep it in your routine, and like I personally love doing it, and I don't mean for it to be like a routine thing. I just do it whenever I feel like it,
exactly.
and that's kind of like how I found my balance. And so like I have multiple books that I just have like around my house or in my room, or I keep one in my bag. What?
I thought of like diet, nutrition. Like, me and Adam saw these like different kinds of journals at like Michael's, and they just had like different journals for each thing. But it's funny. No, I kind of do the same thing. It's not routinely, but whenever I have like a certain thought that I don't want to forget about or whatever, like I'm in school, I'll literally take it out of my bag because I keep a notebook in my bag and I'll just write it down. Yeah. And I also have like a bucket list almost too, which I do stuff like that.
Yeah. Hayden,
Aaron,
having you on here. You told us at the beginning before we were on air that you had questions for us.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did,
We've been asking you a lot of questions.
All right,
I like answering questions.
let me go around the circle.
All right.
We still have like some unanswered questions from the Q&A, but I guess we'll address that
we can
episode.
do that
Another time.
We could if we want to.
Or address that at the end, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, my first question for you
Yes.
is I want to hear about your process of recording because I'm not sure. I've been wondering if other artists and musicians work the same way I do.
Yeah.
I guess my process is like I'll have an idea, I'll start writing it, stop, bring it back up, put it back down, and it's like it takes a really long time for me to finish a whole song, right, something like that, or even finish writing a song. I was wondering, and I know some people can do it all in one day. It's never happened for me. I was wondering if you do it all in one session or how long it takes.
For me, I think more recently I've started taking a lot more time. I used to, I think the very first thing I put out was a 3-song EP called Reality, and that was a scenario where I did record each song took a day, and but these days, for example, 3 Minute Wait, I spent basically the entire summer writing that song and just going through different iterations of it. So I would say that I take a pretty decent amount of time writing and mixing. I spend way too much time mixing.
Yeah.
You can get sucked into that, man. Just especially with for me, I'm always super specific on how drums sound. With guitar, I've figured out a formula. I figured out what sounds good and what I like, so I kind of just do the same thing every time. But drums or I don't know, vocals or bass or whatever, all that other stuff that I don't do as much will will take longer usually. But yeah, I usually just not writing the song doesn't always take super long, but recording it for me definitely takes a while.
That's interesting because I would have thought the guitar is what took the longest for you, because I thought the guitar tone in 3 Minute Wait is unbelievably good. It sounds so good.
Yeah, I think I spend a lot of time when I'm not recording working on that. So like when I do record, I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So that I do spend a lot of time on it, but not like when I'm writing stuff.
Yeah.
So like I can just go to it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the full pedal board like you do, so obviously I have a much better tone than I do. But yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I like, write or record a demo or write a song, and I feel like you're like done or almost done in one day or like a couple days, I'm like, nah, it can't be done because I was only like 2 days.
Yep.
It happened to the other 3 months after that where I need to keep working on that. Yeah, I wish I could do it sooner.
This is just an idea, but I mean, if you guys collabed on a song, that'd be kind of interesting because
We
you
definitely
got some
yes.
really,
Yeah.
really good vocals and like some really good production. And
Thank you,
guitars
Alex.
and stuff. Like that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. It'd be hard because I'll be in Philly for the next year.
Yeah.
Maybe when I come back,
Mhm.
Yeah,
we could work
at
on
some
something
point.
together. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. That would
I'm
be
down.
dope.
Yeah. All right, Aaron. I have always been really intrigued by the idea of like young entrepreneurs, and I've always something else I've wanted to do for a while, but never really got around to it. Never like set my mind to it. And I want to hear more about what you're doing in e-commerce, right?
E-commerce right now is kind of, I'm not really doing e-commerce right now. I did that a bit like a year ago was my first store. I was selling Halloween masks, which actually I might do that again.
Oh yeah,
Because it's that time of
Yeah,
the year,
it's
and
spooky season.
that's a really good product. It's just a good, easy product to sell. But like the way I found this stuff was like, God, I watched this YouTube channel called JR Garage. I don't know. Did I talk about this on the podcast before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Well, I watched this YouTube channel called JR Garage, which was a car channel, and these two like teenagers who had like these exotic sports cars, and I was like, what the fuck? This is so sick. And like, so I was like, who are these guys? Like, what's their story? I was like 14, I think, 13. I found them when I was like 13. When I was like 14 or something, 15 maybe, I found like one of their friends named Kieran, who I still follow, and I'm kind of in touch with him. And he was like this teenage like social media marketer, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. So from then, once you like find one of these guys, everybody in the space will hit you with ads on Instagram.
Oh, totally.
And so I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
That totally
And, like, I was
happened
like, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be like, this is going to be so sick. So I was like, okay, I just got to start. And I didn't really start. And then I kind of started, and then I kind of started. And then I was like, e-commerce is going to make me rich. And then I was like, not really. E-commerce is a lot harder than I thought. And then there's a certain point this year where I was like, I'm going to do social media marketing, which is like where for businesses. So I'll go to a business and say, I'll do social media marketing for you guys and help with your digital, like how you are online and everything like that. And now what I'm kind of doing is that, but I partnered up with this company called Rapid Contact, and it's a lead generation company in the car dealership industry. So like we'll go to car dealerships and we're going to sell them packages for leads. And then we also have this software that is a contact for the leads. So what a lead is basically a potential customer, and like it'll come through our Facebook ad. They'll fill in their information, and then our software will contact them, and then we sell that to the business and stuff like that. So that's basically what I'm doing, and we're getting started with that. I've had a lot of meetings and stuff like that, and it's really awesome. So I've learned so much from this. Like, even though I haven't made much money from it, it's like I'm so happy with it. It's so fun for me, just learning this kind of stuff. That the way I think is like completely like business minded and like really economical. So I just like doing this stuff.
Yeah. I always wanted to start something like that. Like, I found one of those guys, and then all the Instagram ads come. And they're like, paid only $9.99 for this training.
Yeah,
or like
yeah,
Amazon FBA or whatever. And I'd be like, this is it. This is my time. I'd be like about to like pay and be like, oh yeah, I don't have $1,000 to spend.
Yeah, I know. I bought a course for e-commerce.
Did it help?
It was $400.
Did it like?
And it helped. It helped me. I bought a course in mentorship from this guy Kendall Shaw. Really, really awesome dude. I didn't really know what I was getting into when I did it. I thought it was really cool, and like I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was to commit. The really getting yourself to commit to it is the hardest part.
Yeah, that's what I was always afraid of.
To invest the money into it, and I know that I have what it takes, but I don't know. Right now I have other stuff on my plate, but I'm definitely going to keep e-commerce in mind just because it's a good, if you know what you're doing and you have the time and the initial investment of a couple $100, then it's a really good way to get experience and make money. So.
Yeah, I that's like what I was always thinking when I kind of like backed out, where I was like, I'm going to do it, I'm not going to do it. It's because I was like, I want to commit to this, but then I'd be like, I have school and I barely have time for it.
It's really hard
stuff.
With school, and also not being 18 is
really
one of the biggest things. That's like the reason I couldn't. Well, the reason, like, it's my excuse for not committing to ecom. That's what I think of it now. That I wasn't 18 and I'm not 18, because it would have to be under your parents' name and PayPal and all that kind of stuff. And I don't have like the business's license. That kind of. So what I'm doing now is a lot more. Everything's like written out in contracts and stuff like that. So we're gonna sign stuff, and it's gonna be much more legit. Yeah. So dude, I'm not saying e-commerce is not legit. Like e-commerce is a completely legitimate business, and if you're listening and you want to start e-com, it's a great thing to do. Hit me up. I'll talk to you about it. But
to all those impressionable minds out there.
Yeah.
That's how I always felt about investing in like stocks and stuff. Because I was always like, I'm not 18. I have to put it on my
stocks
credit card.
Different though. You can do stocks.
Yeah. I actually just started investing.
Really?
Yeah.
With Robinhood or something?
Yeah, with Robinhood. And the thing about TD Ameritrade, but it's a lot harder than I thought.
It is a lot harder.
Yeah.
Have you found stocks or just index funds?
Stocks, like individual stocks. I'm essentially swing trading, which is like keeping a stock for a day, hoping it makes money.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But it's kind of hard because the stock market's so unpredictable.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Especially now. And
do you know Ricky Gutierrez?
Wait, yeah. I'm part of a Facebook group that he started.
Oh, yeah. You're in the
Tech Buds.
Tech Bud Solutions.
Yeah.
The largest Facebook group on the internet for stock traders.
Yeah.
Ricky's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
Have you watched his live streams?
I've watched a couple of them. It's crazy.
They're insane.
The thing is, like, I want to be able to day trade, but you need 25 grand to day trade, and I do not have 25 grand, especially to invest. So, it's a lot harder when you're not day trading, because once you buy a stock, you have to hope it goes up, and if it doesn't go up, you have to keep it until the next day. So if it plummets, you lose money, period.
I have some friends that are doing stocks right now, and one of them is actually doing really well with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. I haven't talked to him in a little bit, but he's a Twitch streamer, and I think he's 17 now, and he, like, all the money that he's made on Twitch so far, he's just invested in it, and he's really, like, he's made a lot of money from stocks, and he just did his research in these companies. He's not doing swing trades or anything. He's holding mostly. And so, I'm definitely going to get it. Once I, like, make some money that I want to invest and not just save or anything like that, I'm definitely going to put some money into stocks.
It definitely seems a lot easier than it is, I think, with stocks.
Totally.
Because you can make a bunch of money one day and be like, oh, I understand what I'm doing, and then lose it all the next day and be like, oh, I guess not. Because I think you just need so much, like, previous knowledge in stocks to start investing and actually understand what you're doing. It takes a while. So
when I was 14, I put some money into crypto.
Same.
I remember I put that on my story a while ago, and you're like, "Oh, crypto, yeah."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yep, the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life."
Really?
No, but I thought it was really cool, and I still think it's cool to this day. It's not a great way to make money. Well, it's a way to make money. It's not a great way to make money because you don't know what the hell it is unless you're. Nobody knows what cryptocurrency is. Like, to be honest, like, it's just really weird. It's not like stocks in any way.
Yeah. Dude, there was a time where I was gonna start, like, mining. I was so into crypto for a while. I'm dead serious.
Highlight of the video.
Yeah. Oh my god. I was so into crypto for a while, right when Bitcoin was booming.
Yeah, that's when I got into it. Like, it was booming in, like, November all the way up to December, and then I got into it February.
Dude, I got into it.
No, I got into, like, the beginning of January.
In, like, the second half of the boom, so I put in, like, $8, and I made $8, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, crypto's sick. I'm going to do this all the time. And
Hashtag entrepreneur.
Yeah, and then it peaked, and then it went way back down.
Yep. But now it was recently going up, and I don't pay attention to that. Like,
Yeah.
really.
I've noticed it a little bit. Like it's around 10,000 now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of up and down. It's not like, I don't think it's steadily increasing or decreasing right now. I've no idea what's up with it, but I was gonna start mining, and then and I was like doing this research, and it was like you need, I don't know what the
Some insane computer.
the units are, but you need like so much computing power
Yeah.
just to mine.
To get the chance of mining.
Yeah.
Like anything.
Yeah, I was telling my dad about it, who's an IT guy,
No clue what you're talking about.
and I was like, Dad, it's only like $500 to buy this machine, and then you can mine and make like 10 grand a year. And he was like, yeah, but you know what, like your electricity bills are gonna be that year. I was like, what? He's like, so hot, like you use so much power to mine. So yeah, I was like, yeah, not gonna do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, still trying to find a way to make money. I'm open to ideas. If anyone has any suggestions,
Dude,
how
you
to get
should-
rich?
Honestly, like e-commerce, like
Maybe
it might be the way. I have a friend who's going to Drexel who's doing e-com. He's also doing social media marketing. I think
Is he the guy you
send
told
you-
me about who's doing
Yeah.
entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I'm gonna get you guys in touch. I
That'd
think
be
I
cool.
send you his Instagram.
Dude, what if he's my roommate?
What's your roommate's name?
What's your friend's name?
Jackson.
Jackson. That's my roommate's name.
No way.
No.
Yeah,
no.
all right. And cut the show.
No, my roommate's name is Lance.
Lance. Nice.
Yeah. It has I think his name has the potential to be a really great porn name. Lance. His last name's Steiner. That was pretty Jewish. I don't know if that'll work. But yeah.
Lance.
Anyway, yeah, e-commerce.
That's the move.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm still looking for something that's like sustainable and is scalable.
E-commerce
in the
is
same way.
dude. E-commerce is crazy scalable because, okay, the process of e-commerce is finding a product, testing product. So you'll find a winning product, which is a product that has good profit margins and solves a problem and all that kind of stuff. Then once you find a product that you think is a winner, you never know if anybody else is going to buy it. So you have to test it generally on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook ads are ads that you put out using Facebook's analytics. Instagram, you can do that too, or you can do Instagram influencers, which are a bit more broad, but there's pros and cons. There's so many people who talk about Facebook versus Instagram, blah, blah, blah. I've done both. Facebook, I think I got more results on. But you'll test them, and then sometimes you'll find a good product on your first try. And if you do, what happens is, let's say your campaigns are $5 a day for like 3 campaigns. That's not that much. And you're getting sales. You just increase the budget, and it'll send it to the same people that have bought already. It's gonna send to like people that are like exactly the same as them. So meaning like they have the same interests and same like search history and so all that creepy stuff that Facebook knows about you. And so it's like extremely scalable until like if it's a seasonal product, then not really like until like the cap. And then there's things you have to worry about, like for Halloween when I was selling masks. I had to worry about shipping because from China it takes like 20 days to ship. Yeah. So I have to stop selling when like most people were buying Halloween costumes. So it's like it's kind of annoying to do that. But definitely e-commerce is scalable and passive. Once you get over that hump of like finding a product that actually works, then it's really good.
Yeah. Another option.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad you talked about that because I've been interested in
it's
what
really
you do
cool
for a
stuff.
while.
It's really cool stuff.
Yeah. All right, Alex, on the
Anticipated it.
the chopping block. So you're really into like sports and fitness?
Yeah.
Yes. No.
Something like that.
So do you like regularly work out and try to like, and not bodybuild, but I don't know.
Nah, I mean, yeah, like not really bodybuilding, more like kind of like calisthenics and a little bit of CrossFit, but not like I'm not super serious. I wasn't really. I mean, since like this summer, I actually got into like a pretty regular schedule of going to the gym, but before that, not as much. Like I'd go like every weekend or so, but I've been going like probably maybe 3 times a week consistently now. But I'm not usually like I'll lift maybe 2 times a week. I'll do like pretty light stuff, but it's more like I'll just like find a bunch of workouts, exercises that are like specific to basketball, like because that's like more of an athlete type body rather than like a bodybuilder type body.
Yeah. So it's all kind of like with the goal of basketball in mind.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Because
I've
been
just like going to lift to lift.
I've been going to lift to lift.
I mean, getting ready for college, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people like go into it thinking like, I mean, I don't know. You go to the gym for 2 weeks and you just do like a bunch of like bicep curls and like people think like, yeah, you're gonna be jacked, but like that's not how it works. And you really have to. I mean, if you're serious about it, you have to go in knowing like, I mean, a good way to go into it is knowing like what do you want to reach, like what kind of body type do you want to reach, like, because it's like like there's so many different things you could do, like, and it all depends on what workouts you do and depending on like how big you want to get, I guess. And like diet's a huge thing too.
Yeah.
Like,
oh really?
Diet. Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're trying to cut body fat.
Yeah. I am not trying to do that. I don't think I have body fat to
like
cut.
If you're trying to like slim down or whatever, like become.
But also gaining muscle, you need your diet is important too.
Yeah,
you want
exactly.
To have protein.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've
just balanced.
Yeah, I've recently been like, I've piqued an interest in, I guess like getting fit because, you know, I did sports in high school, JVB soccer. Ultimate. Yeah, but I feel like I never actually got like I get like a little toned during the season, sure, but I was never really like the body type I wanted, and I think I was like, you know, I think I have to start going to the gym if I want to like gain muscle, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to cut body fat. That'd be hard.
You don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's more like if you go to the gym, do a workout, but then you go home and eat like 50 cookies and like 5 burgers, like
my life.
like you just gained back probably everything you just burned. So it's like you got to balance it out.
But it's if you're not trying to burn fat, but you're just trying to bulk up. If you did that same workout and then maybe not eat like a bunch of cookies, but ate like a bunch of like bacon and I guess like fat and sugar, just like not really healthy like low calorie foods, would that reverse the effects of the workout? Or would it just?
I mean, it depends. Like, no. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, if you're trying to bulk up, then like, there's different ways to do it. But I say like, I mean, like, you could do something pretty simple where you just work out and then you go home and have like, I don't know, like a BLT, like shit. Like that's literally like you can like going on a diet or not even going on a diet. Eating well doesn't mean like. You have to do like all organic, like keto, low calorie. Like you can just like eat fucking sandwiches if you want. Like that's totally fine. I mean, just make sure that I don't know you're getting a balanced amount of everything.
Yeah, because I'm like trying to gain muscle, but I'm also not trying to give up bacon cheeseburgers. Like if it came between muscle, like being fit and eating really fatty, delicious foods, I'm gonna have to go with the Big Mac. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to give that up. But I
mean, cutting it down a little bit, like you can still have that, just like. Not.
So you're saying I can't get the Wendy's 4 for $4 every day for every single
No.
Blasphemy. Because I've been I guess this summer is the first time I've gone to the gym regularly for more than a month.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I'm starting to see some results. I'm wondering like
and feel it too, right?
Yeah.
You feel good.
Yeah, I'll just wake up in the middle of the night screaming, flexing all my muscles. I think I'm turning to the Hulk.
Oh god.
Yeah, but
that's great.
I'm wondering how long do you think it takes
to see results?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to the gym regularly, like see like significant results, you know?
Well, here's for you.
Yes, for me.
Not trying to like shit on you, buddy, but since you're kind of a newbie. And, I mean, it's totally like normal. When you start working out regularly for like a month, you're gonna see like a pretty good like you're gonna see a lot of results because it's called like newbie gains. It's basically like when you first start working out, like you're gonna see a lot of results, but then like after that month, you actually have to start like, I mean, you have to add weight, add reps, whatever, like, and go a little harder, and then like, if you reach like whatever, like you cut down your weight or you gain weight and muscle, and like you're 160 and you're like got a good level of muscle, to gain 5 pounds in muscle from that point, it's like a very impressive and hard thing to do, because sometimes you can plateau, which basically means like you can reach a point where you don't see a lot of results because either you're doing like the same workouts you've been doing, the same weight, and that means you have to like push yourself more, obviously. And after you pass that like newbie gains point, then at least you're gonna look good. You're gonna look better than you were, but you're not gonna see like as crazy results within a month. Yeah, I think it might take like 3 months.
Yeah, it makes sense that I would be in the newbie gains area. I feel like I haven't made that much gains though.
But if you work out for like consistently, like 2 times a week for a month, you're gonna see results.
Also, I feel like at college, like
you're gonna have access to gyms all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll like. You can really put it in your schedule and like you can just go to the gym in between class or in the morning.
So I'm hoping keep it up.
You don't have to get like my workouts when I'm not playing basketball. If I could just go to the gym to work out, I'll stay for like half an hour.
Oh really? I've been going to the gym for like 2 hours.
I mean, it depends what you do, but like people think like the longer you stay, the like better it is. But like
I feel like I'm kind of just like wasting my time.
Yeah, I mean, like you could literally go. I mean, also back again, like trying to aim for what kind of body you want, but like you could go to the gym for 30 minutes and do like a high intensity workout and leave, and that's better than doing 2 hours of like slow, like you're not like pushing your heart rate or like burning a lot of calories, you're just like doing slow like weak shit kind of like.
I should try to start doing more of that then, because I don't want to be spending like 2 hours
exactly. You can be much more efficient with your time. Wake up early before class, go to the gym for half an hour.
Okay, that's a steep ask. Tell me to wake up before noon. What?
But yeah, you kind of get my drift.
No, I'll definitely hit you up if I need some consultation in college. Try to get nice and lean.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Anything else we wanted to talk about?
Anyone? Bueller?
One request. You better get me on to social media marketing, because
we're totally gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
Another time. Another after school.
Because I always get questions from everyone who's like, "What do you want to do?" And it's like, like I don't know what to tell them. But that's like something
you kind of have to find what you want to do. So
exactly.
If social media marketing, you try it, you might love it, you might hate it.
I like kind of with Hayden. I've like been into entrepreneurship, but I don't know much about it, and I've like looked at dudes before, and then I just get a bunch of ads on YouTube, like buy my book, like shit ton of that.
You'll get like if you search like anything in the past like 30 days, like or if you search something for the next like 30 days, you're gonna get just like
exactly. And I don't know if I want to like invest money into that if I don't know much about it, but I'd love to consult with you about it.
Totally. All right. Well, Hayden, it was an absolute blast having you as our first guest.
Yeah, it was fun.
We had a pretty lengthy episode this time.
I know.
How long is it?
We're about to.
We are at an hour. Not an hour. 57 minutes. 58 minutes. Just about now. Or 1,741 measures.
Oh, shit.
How many measures was this podcast?
Well, our first episode was 27 minutes, I think. Yeah. Second was like 46.
Yeah. Oh. It's growing exponentially.
All right, we're just gonna sit here for like a couple minutes so we can get that hour mark. You know?
In a month, they're gonna be up, just like up for days.
We're gonna be like competing with Joe Rogan.
A week full of podcasts.
Just an entire week podcast.
Do one of those challenges, like last person to leave the podcast like gets a free car.
Last person to stop talking gets a free car.
Oh my god. That'd be crazy.
We might. This is for you guys listening and watching. We might try to do some live streams. We're talking about doing that instead of recording. We would do live stream and then upload it.
That's cool.
We'll see how we go.
Also, I know you guys are watching this. Ask us questions, because I do want to do a Q&A.
We don't really. I don't think we have time for Q&A
Not
today.
Yeah, but definitely next time.
Definitely next time. We wanna do
questions. We should do it in advance before episode, because what happened last time is we asked and then we started the episode and I got questions after we ended the podcast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's hard, because when you're live streaming, it's like a small percentage of your viewership is going to be watching during that time.
Exactly.
Unless we'll promote it. If we do end up doing live streams, we'll definitely like a day in advance, 2 days in advance, a couple hours in advance. We'll definitely promote it, and do a time that's best for most people. So, well, Hayden, great having
Pleasure
you on the show. Anybody want to say
anything
anything
else?
else?
Thank you for having me on. Yeah, I'm so honored to be your first guest.
First
really
time.
Awesome.
It's pretty sick.
It was really good.
Yeah. Also, should we talk about Sam?
Oh yeah. No. No.
You'll find out about that.
We'll talk about
Be like, yeah,
we'll talk
Sam,
about
and cut it.
Black screen.
Yeah.
All right, well, catch
Thank you guys
in
so
that
much for watching.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you on the flippity flop.
one. Peace out.
See ya.
Episode 4.
Take care.